Hello. Does truth matter to you? If truth means anything at all, then I want to talk to you for just a few moments about a subject in Christianity that I think that we need to re-examine. And it's concerning the very next season that's upon the Christian church, which is the season of Easter. We call it the Resurrection Sunday. And I want to just ask you, have you ever examined and seriously considered why you celebrate Easter? Now, it's no secret to many that follow our ministry here at First Harvest that we do not celebrate Easter. And many people ask us, why do you not celebrate Easter Sunday? And actually, the better question, I think, is why do you celebrate Easter Sunday? The truth is, Jesus Christ, Yeshua in his original name, did not resurrect on a Sunday. The church has taught us for years that he died on a Friday and rose on a Sunday. So if we can prove to you real quickly that he did not rise on a Sunday, then you would have to ask yourself, why do you go to a Easter sunrise service? Now, you've got two choices here. Press the stop button and ignore what we're saying and just forget what we ever said to you, or you have to keep listening and see if what you've been doing is the correct way. So let's start with this. Yeshua died on a Friday, according to church tradition, and rose on a Sunday. Now we know that Jesus said that he would give us one sign that he was the Messiah, just one. They asked him, what is the proof that you are the Messiah? He said, listen, I'm not going to give you any other sign except one sign. He said, just as Jonah was in the belly of the whale 3 days and 3 nights, so will I be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. I'm so glad he didn't say just 3 days, because then that would give cannon fodder to our opponents that say when he said 3 days, he meant any part of 3 days. But no, he clarified it. He said 3 days and 3 nights. Now, Yeshua, the Lord Jesus Christ, was very careful to tell us how he tells time. He said in the Word, is there not 12 hours in the day and 12 hours in a night? You see, he knew how to tell time. He was actually the creator of time. So he knew what a day meant. 12 hours in the day, 12 hours in the night. Put them together, you come up with 24 hours. So then he says, I'm going to be in the grave 3 days. Now, he already told you that the days have 12 hours in them. So if you go 12 times 3, what do you come up with? And then he said 3 nights. He told you that there was 12 hours in the night. Now you multiply those 3 together, and you get 36 and 36. Add that together, and you get 72 hours. He tells us emphatically how long he will be in the grave, and if he's in there an hour longer or an hour shorter, then he is not the Son of God, the Messiah. If you've ever discussed the scriptures with a Muslim, the first thing they will point to prove and to discredit that Jesus was the Son of God is the resurrection. They will tell you that according to the church, he was only in the grave from Friday to Sunday. Now, if you do the math, they would be correct. But you see, they're incorrect, because there are some in God's church that know how to tell time. They know when he died. We know when he was resurrected. If he died on a Friday at 3 o'clock, and we know that to be the case, they were in a hurry to bury him just before the sun set. Why? Because God doesn't tell time like we tell time. God's day God's days start when the sun sets, not at midnight. Go read all of the Old Testament. You'll find that from sunset to sunset is what the Almighty Yahweh considers a full day. Now, we know that. And once you learn how to tell time, then you'll understand the Bible a whole lot better. So now, if they buried Yeshua right before the sun set, they had to bury him before the sun set, because when the sun set, a new day began. But this was not just any day that was beginning. It was what we call a high Sabbath day. It was not the weekly Sabbath. If you'll go read John's writings, the next day was a high Sabbath. Now, what was a high Sabbath? It was a holy day. Every year, God gave them 7 annual high Sabbath days, or holy days. We know that Yeshua died on the Passover because the Bible said that was the day of preparation. Now, that's where people get confused. They think that they were preparing for the weekly Sabbath, which would have been Saturday. But no, they were preparing for the day after Passover, which is a high holy day. Passover is not technically a Sabbath day, but the first day of unleavened bread is a high Sabbath day. So they were quickly preparing to bury Yeshua before the sunset and a high Sabbath day began. Now, if the church is correct and that Yeshua died on a Friday, so if we bury him at 6 o'clock, right before 6 o'clock on a Friday, and let's go 24 hours later to 6 o'clock on a Saturday, that's one day. Now, if we go, the church says he rose early on a Sunday morning, which would have been, let's say, 6 hours later, then you've got a day and not even a half, a day and 6 hours that he was in the grave in the heart of the earth. If that's the truth, then he was not the Messiah. He did not fulfill the sign that he was the Son of God. I'll never understand how we can put Yeshua in the grave for a day and 6 hours and say he was in there 3 days and 3 nights. No, the truth is what I'm about to tell you. The truth is, in the year that Yeshua died, he died on a Wednesday, which was the Passover day that year. He died as the Passover lamb. And then they put him in the grave just before the beginning of unleavened bread. They put him in there around right before their sunset that day, which NASA has proven to us was around 6 o'clock. You know, NASA has all of this historical data of sunsets and sunrises. So we know when he was buried. Now, if you go from Wednesday night or Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock to Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, you got him in there one day and one night. Now go Friday evening to 6 o'clock, you've got him in there 2 days and 2 nights. Now go to Saturday evening just before sunset, and you've got him in there for 3 days and 3 nights perfectly. He rose at the 72 hours at the end. He rested on the Sabbath and rose at the end just before Sunday began. Ladies and gentlemen, friends around the world, Yeshua did not rise on a Sunday morning. So why are you out celebrating his resurrection at a sunrise service on Sunday morning? You may not like the answer, but I will give it to you anyhow. There is a custom in pagan tradition that celebrated the rebirth of the sun. It celebrated the birth, and it celebrated the sun. It was the religion of Ishtar, which originally was Astaroth. The religion of Ishtar worshipped the sun, as they believed that Ishtar's little boy, her baby, was the son of Baal, or the sun god. And so they would gather every year for a Sunday morning, the day of the sun, Sunday, to worship the rising of the sun. And yet Yahweh forbids us to do these things. He forbids us to have anything to do with the heathen customs or the traditions of the pagans. So I hope now that you understand why we do not gather to look at the sun and to venerate the resurrection when it did not happen that way. Hopefully that helps you to understand why we do not celebrate the pagan religion of Ishtar, pronounced Easter in English. God bless you. Have a great day.